circus people. They really have to come to it.
The boos were as loud as the cheers.
I said suck it.
You don't know what just happened here. There's a tape of this. This is gonna change. You don't even know.
I hope somebody takes a beer stein and just slaps you on the back of your zit-infested shoulders and your awful man-tit tank tops and some other horrific shit happens that involves cancer. To all of you.
It was a defining moment for his everything.
What else? What else? I attacked your mothers. I'm doing it all.
It made Bill Burr a legend.
It's a humid September night in southern New Jersey. The night sky is clear, freckled with stars. A faint veil of light pollution crawls just above the horizon. To the west, just beyond the Delaware River, in a sickly glow of orange and manufactured red, sits Philadelphia. A crowd stirs. Anticipation is a shared emotion. Yet, darkness looms. The Liberty Bell, 3 notorious sports teams, Patty's Pub,
You haven't thought of the smell, you bitch!
Rocky Balboa. An iconic city, no doubt. A city that for one night was purified of the dregs of its population.
O&A! XM Satellite Radio! Opie and Anthony on XM Satellite Radio!
A traveling virus filtered itself from the depths of Philly, infecting the shores of Camden, New Jersey. They stood in front of the stage like a rippling sea of spoiled children, Opie and Anthony fans. Despite an all-star lineup, packed to the brim with comedy's heaviest hitters, they remained unwavering. The first comic took the stage, only to be immediately met with a barrage of boos and debris until ultimately he gave in. Up next was the great Dom Irrera. Dom started his set and was immediately disrespected, cast aside like yesterday's trash. Why were they doing this? For what purpose? Had they been wronged in some way? Disrespected by the organizers of the show itself? No, they weren't. Like the scorpion stinging the frog, it was simply in their nature. Comedians were being disrespected and unable to perform their material. Patrons had paid their ticket prices, yet not been able to enjoy the show. The show was a disaster. However, unbeknownst to the crowd, a savior loomed backstage. Someone whose rage completely outweighed the chaotic force of group mentality. The O&A fans were about to witness a real-life Rocky Balboa take them into round 14.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
I gotta do it, man.
Dude. What are you doing? Huel. Hey, quit screwing around. We are here to
Watch Red Pill videos.
Not-
Subscribe to a comedy, psychology, and personal development channel.
You hearing me?
I hear you.
Dude. Ah, screw it.
Hit the bell.
All I'm saying.
Let's take a trip back in time. The year is 1968. The beautiful, cool evening in Canton, Massachusetts. A dentist is speeding down the freeway, racing through back streets in his 1966 Ford Galaxy. A few miles away, a pregnant nurse is being escorted by her colleagues into the delivery room. He arrives just in time to witness the birth of his son, William. William grows up a child of the 70s. Just like any kid of that time, he was given a house key to use after school and spent ample time with the neighborhood kids jumping his bike off of plywood ramps in a cul-de-sac. William had a pretty regular life through high school. After graduating, he started working at a warehouse where he shared his love of stand-up comedy with one of his coworkers, transforming William into Bill Burr.
Thank you. How are you? Nice to be here. I'm an easily frustrated individual. Like recently, I went to go buy some t-shirts, right? All I wanted was like one solid color. You know, it took me 20 minutes just to find a t-shirt that was just like one solid color, you know? Because nowadays, all the t-shirts, they have to have like those stupid like balls to the wall sports slogans across them. You know what I mean? They say like above the rim, or like life short, play hard. There's like some 60-pound dork standing there wearing the shirt going, yeah. Yeah, I'm crazy, I got no fear.
Before Bill's material became fish food for Oscar-worthy YouTube commentary channels,
Jess, baby, you want to suck it?
Yes.
Oh, it's brutal.
he had to start somewhere. In 1994, at the tender age of 26, Bill moved to New York City, 2 years into the start of his comedy career. Bill submitted to the grind of the New York City comedy club circuit, honing his craft and jumping from club to club in the greatest comedy gauntlet in the world. In the early 2000s, Bill became a frequent guest on Chappelles Show.
How's it taste, mother?
Can you stop yelling at me, please?
No, I can't stop yelling, because that's how I talk. You ain't never seen my movies.
This led to a comedy tour featuring other frequent guests, Donnell Rawlings and Charlie Murphy. Bill really is one of modern comedy's greatest assets. And like many of the other comedians I'll cover in this series, Bill's first true exposure to the public started on the Opie and Anthony Show.
Let's get the boys in here. We got the gang from the Chappelles Show. We got Charlie Murphy.
Bring him in. Charlie Murphy.
Billy Burr. And then
Donnell Rawlings.
Darnell, right? Darnell.
Wrong!
You guys are selling out everywhere, man. You guys, it's like one of the hottest tours of these guys.
Oh, it's phenomenal, man. You know, I just started doing stand-up last Father's Day, okay? And I hang out with the best of the best, which are these two guys right here. You know, when we first started going out on the road, they used to say,
"If you come to the show, you're going to get 2 quality headliners and Charlie Murphy."
He don't say that no more. Because, you know, the proof of the pudding is when you come see the show.
Now he says 2 headliners in the middle. For the price of one.
I don't know if we can repeat that because I had to expose that Bill is a fake Boston Red Sox fan. He's also a fake Patriot fan. He's not a true fan. Trust me. We was in the room with him when he was putting his stuff in the garbage and all of that. We seen him do it.
You just went on a 20-minute speech about how honest you are. And here you are, exaggerating. Come on, I thought you come from the heart. You don't have the guards down. Now you know when Charlie's lying, his eyes get
back
wider.
to the venue, and he went into the dumpster behind the venue and got the hat back out.
I remember that, too.
You remember that?
Yeah, and you know what? When I looked in there, Charlie was in the dumpster because the crowd threw him in there. I like shooting the dog on that Law and Order sketch, but they did it real quick, so I don't think people knew it was me.
Gotcha, bitch.
The O&A show was unique in that it helped set the framework for the modern podcast format. The majority of guests booked on the show were comedians promoting their shows in New York City. What made O&A special was the authenticity and rawness of the entertainment. The show's hosts, Greg Opie Hughes, comedian Jim Norton, and Anthony Cumia were ruthless, many times coming off as downright rude towards their producers, certain guests, and even their fans, especially their fans.
Hey, Mike.
What's the matter? You didn't get any last night?
Yeah, you had that whole mother of yours came over and sucked my drained the out of it, and I pumped it all down her throat till it came out her nose. That mother of yours.
Wait a minute.
No, I'm not gonna wait a minute, you sucker.
You know what you fucking get paid to do?
Yes, I get paid a lot to do this. That's the beauty of it.
You're fucking ripping them off all the way to the bank.
Oh, I'm laughing all the way to the bank, am I? You cliche-slinging bucket of jam. I hope you're killed in a drunk driving accident on New Year's Eve. We want to hear some sketches with southern voices. Get behind the wheel after drinking a few and plow into a pregnant lady. How's that for a sketch? West Coast jerk off.
You. You. You.
There were no rules, no segments, no restrictions, no do your material and then we'll read the weather type bullshit. It was real. Opie and Anthony cultivated an audience of radical fans called the Pests. The Pests mirrored the show's brash, unfiltered, and crude atmosphere, being encouraged by the show's hosts.
Jesus, God Almighty, man! Everything was good in my life yesterday, and then I got 2,000 fucking tweets.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. That means you're popular.
Congratulations. You're popular on Twitter.
Congrats, man.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that these are popular tweets.
David is live in New York City's Times Square. David, are the fans beside themselves with excitement?
You know, Brooke,
Are they crossovers, like maybe from fans of maybe me or Danny or Jimmy Norton or someone like that?
I don't know. Would one of your fans say, "Go f*** a camel, you Egyptian camel piece of shit"? Is that something like a follower of yours might say?
He wants the decoy to smell the marijuana he brought.
Smells good.
I want you to just keep your hands right where I can see them, okay? And I want you to sit right down there. No, keep your hands right where I can see them. All right?
You're Chris Hansen.
I am. Have you seen the show? You have seen it.
I thought you were real funny on Opie and Anthony.
Oh, you listened to me on Opie and Anthony?
Susie got some television exposure on Wednesday's Today Show when she suddenly shed her shirt. Watch Matt and Katie's shocked reaction.
We're not schwitzing too much down here, Katie.
And, okay, yeah.
Why did you do it?
I wanted to tell the world that I support Opie and Anthony.
He's a little dehydrated with a few cuts and bruises, but he'll be okay. We're live in Perth Amboy tonight with some company. Jeff Begay's Channel 7 Eyewitness.
Nice pick, you Your mouth looks like it's all blown out from taking uncut meat sticks.
Jamie Smith, CBS 3.
Los Angeles.
Oh, so you must really be enjoying.
As you can see.
It's a radio team that is very low in the ratings, and that's what they need.
Hey, cancer arms. Why didn't you, Bill Burr, and Robert Kelly put Fancy Jim Norton in your 15-minute waste of film?
School-age children love it because of
the directors of the co-op board here at 927 Fifth Avenue to decide the fate.
Why is there always that one absolute idiot who has to jump up and down?
Spaces, a handful of, excuse me, sir.
The store here will open in 2007.
Win, but for $5, what else do you get?
Avenue, excuse me.
Satellite radio, Opie and Anthony.
They're trying to put a stop to it. What the f*** is your problem, man?
Get AIDS, cunt.
Bill became a regular. This allowed the audience to see who the true Bill Burr was, completely unfiltered and unscripted.
You guys looking forward to the World Cup?
You know. If they canceled soccer forever, nobody in this room would ever know it.
No, but the thing was, Beckham was over the hill. He was already
we wouldn't give a shit if he was in the prime of his career. Make an action movie. We don't want you to run around and can't use your hands. And every time someone kicks your shin, you act like you fell out of a car.
American football is
serious.
The faggiest sport.
You with your classic foreign torso. Look at him. Fucking 7th grade arms. And then pooch. They had the nerve to call us obese. I went over to Europe. You guys are a fucking mess. You meat pie sandwiches.
First of all, I'm Australian. And
it's the same thing to us. We don't care about your games or your geography.
His material was clearly not an act. It was just Bill. What they found was a rage-fueled contrarian with a unique perspective on culture. And people identified with him.
The whole thing was annoying, and I hated how Oprah was interviewing him and acting like she was dumbfounded that this guy would do this. Like, she's been in show business for 35 years and she can't, like, wrap her head around some guy doing whatever it takes to get to the next level. Didn't she, for the first 5 years, have, like, midgets who wanted to bang their mailman's boyfriend? And she didn't want to do it. And the top 20 guys like all tested positive for roids. So our roided up guy beat your roided up guy.
In 2006, Opie and Anthony introduced a comedy tour called the Traveling Virus Tour. The tour would be named after their XM satellite radio channel, The Virus. The function of the tour would be to both reward the comedy regulars of the show and as a way to say thank you to the fans nationwide. 21 comedians were booked on the Traveling Virus Tour. Big names including Tracy Morgan, Louis CK, Bob Saget, and even a pre-podcast Joe Rogan. The tour kicked off on August 5th, 2006 in Worcester, Massachusetts, and everything was going well until September 9th in Camden, New Jersey. To truly feel the impact of this night, I'm simply not going to be able to do it justice. So I'm going to pass the reins off to a professional.
Now, in every profession, there exists the doomsday scenario. The scenario that scares the titty Christ chips right out of you. For example, mine is having one of my classic farts slipping under the anesthesia mask, waking the patient up while I'm balls deep up in them guts. Metaphorically speaking, of course. And for comedians, the doomsday scenario is bombing. Bombing is when the audience and the comedian don't sync. No one laughs. Bombing is like asking out a hot girl in front of your friends and getting rejected. But instead of just one hot girl, it's an entire room full of them. Causes of bombing include a lack of big dick energy, calling the guy in a wheelchair retarded, anything at all related to indie comedy, or an audience of fart-sniffing cunts with an ego problem the size of my prostate. Well, that night in Camden, everyone bombed. Was like Baghdad. The Pests were trolling and taking the show down. Every comedian's worst fear became a grueling reality as the overwhelming feeling of rejection manifested before their eyes. That was until old Billy Rednuts took the stage.
Dude, you know what's funny? I'm cooking my brain talking about nothing. I'm just walking around like, yeah, I just got a cheeseburger.
Bill was prepared to meet his fate. He started off doing his material like normal, but once the booze began to roll in, something just snapped.
Oh, f*** all you people. You know what, you f***ing losers? I hope you all f***ing die, and I hope the f***ing Eagles never win the Super Bowl. Go f*** yourselves.
Bill went thermonuclear all over Philly's ass. No institution was off limits.
I hope your mother has herpes in the center of her asshole.
Bill leaned so far into the skid, he was drifting.
Get booed by people sitting in the grass. What's that, sir? What do you have to say, sir? Never passed the 8th grade. What brilliant shit are you gonna tell me, huh? Rocky is your hero. The whole pride of your city is built around a guy who doesn't even exist. Joe Frazier is from there, but he's black, so you can't fucking deal with them, so you make a statue for some 3-foot Italian, you stupid Philly cheese-eating jackasses. I hope that cheese melts your faces off. All of you and the Liberty Bell. Shove it up Ben Franklin's ass. What do you think about that? 7 minutes left, and I'm doing all in 7.
He wasn't leaving the stage until his time was up, punctuating every minute with a timestamp. Bill wished cancer, heart disease, death, car accidents, terrorist attacks, dismemberment, and more on the audience of O&A Pests.
All of you collectively suck a f***ing dick.
Let's say hi to Richard in St. Louis. Richard!
What's going on, boys?
Hey.
I went home straight after work, watched that video, laughed my ass off. It's the funniest thing I've seen since the Bee Sting video. Sent it out to everybody.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, the best part of the Billy Burr thing is when he's doing the countdown. 7 minutes.
7 minutes, yeah. He ain't leaving.
Let's go to Greg in New York. Greg?
That's just so funny. Watched it last night when I got home. Hilarious as S.
Say hi to Bruce in Louisiana. Bruce, what's up?
Yeah, hey guys, how you doing? You know, I watched that on YouTube this weekend, and it is amazing how he alienated that crowd, brought them back, and did it again like 6 times. Awesome, how did he do that?
They loved it. Bill's decision to die in a blaze of glory immortalized the Philly incident and transcended him to a god among men and comedians alike, and won the respect of people all over the country. In 2008, Bill released his first ever special entitled Why Do I Do This? To critical acclaim. In 2012, Bill got the next boon to his popularity by releasing a Netflix special called You People Are All the Same.
She's reading too much because now she wants to get one, but she's just like, well, I heard you got to keep the bullets in the safe, keep the stock in the garage. And then what? Then what? I run around the house and assemble it. There's some dudes chasing me with an axe. You know, even thinking this thing through, sweetheart. Just running around. Where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room.
Now, this special is important because it came around the same time that Netflix streaming was popping off in popularity. As a result, Bill was one of the few Netflix specials on the platform. Audiences of more than just comedy fans were now being exposed to Bill Burr and his comedy.
They were like still considered the guys that delivered videos to you, right? And they thought it was funny. And then like within like, I think 3 years of that, they were like the place to be.
Bill's popularity exploded. And soon after, stand-up comedy fans were hearing their mothers, uncles, and even grandmothers cry out in joy whenever Bill came up in conversation. "I love him," they'd exclaim. "He was so funny on the Netflix." New opportunities arose. Things like acting gigs, talk show appearances, and even an adult animated Netflix series. After 4 comedy specials, Bill began to bloom as the Renaissance man we all know him to be today. This time, Bill branched out from stand-up to work on an animated series for Netflix called F is for Family.
Relax, it's cool, man, it's cool. Shit, man, dude look like a cop. They all look like cops.
Yeah, I guess we do. Everybody put your hands up. Shut that
Not in here, Frank.
One of the indicators of a truly talented performer has always been the ability to transcend genres. Much like Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, and Steve Carell, Bill began working as a comedic actor, and after achieving massive comedic success, sought out more dramatic roles. Bill appeared on the Emmy Award-winning series Breaking Bad. For multiple episodes, he acted alongside fellow comedian Lavelle Crawford. Bill was cast as Patrick Kuby, a henchman of the sleazy lawyer Saul Goodman.
Like, I remember I had a scene, like a real quick scene with Lavelle Crawford and Bob Odenkirk in Saul's office.
I remember.
And then Mr. White comes in, which is also awesome. Like, oh my God, I'm going to stand next to Mr. White. But what was cool was in that little moment, those were all 3 stand-up comics holding down the best drama on TV at the time.
Yeah, like Vince loves...
For granted, 8 seconds, but it was still cool as hell.
The man is one of the early pioneers of podcasting. In the early years, before Apple Podcast integration, Bill would have to call an answering service from his cell phone whenever he wanted to record.
Hey! What's going on? It's Bill Burr. This is my podcast. And Bobby Kelly set it up. Isn't this interesting? Listen, I'm going to figure out how to do this thing, and if it's already bored you, just hit the stop button. At the what? At the bottom of my page, or right underneath the podcast, you can hit subscribe. So they will go right to your... Anytime there's a new podcast, it'll go right to you where you're at. This is the beginning of something mediocre. So I want you guys to tune in, all right? Now what do? I hit pound? Okay.
Whether he was sitting in an airport terminal or walking around the grocery store, Bill was certain to find something to piss him off and strike him with a dose of inspiration. At that point, he'd call up the hotline and record a 7 to 8 minute stream of consciousness, retrieve the recording, and subsequently upload it to MySpace. Yes, I said MySpace. Calm down, Jimmy Neutron. Let's not brain blast back to 2004 just yet.
What?
Today, Bill's podcast consists of him giving his perspective on current events and helping out his listeners with their personal problems. As a friend of Joe Rogan's, Bill's an avid guest on podcasts. He's also made appearances on shows like Hot Ones, Snoop Dogg's podcast, and most recently, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson.
They wouldn't give a f***. I thought you were laughing. You were yawning over here.
No, the mushrooms are
killing me, man. Shroom, I'm shrooming.
You know how up this is? He's shrooming, and he's wearing pants like he went riding a horse today. Like side saddle or some shit.
What's most interesting to me about Bill are his hobbies. Drummer, helicopter pilot, fluent speaker of French. These are titles that I would describe as contextually understating when it comes to Bill Burr. The amount of enthusiasm he puts towards his passions is frankly inspiring. Just listen to him talk about flying a helicopter and the intricacies of auto rotation.
But I always go out and I do like the auto rotations, and he'll just sort of chop. I'm flying along, he'll just chop throttle, and like, I mean, it's just rolling the RPMs, the engine down. And then you immediately have to pick a spot, you know. And sometimes it'd be basically if you had some sort of failure problem, engine failure, whatever. So like when you're flying down, using that air, like almost like a fan, to keep it going. So,
also, the dude is in a badass cover band with his fellow comics. Rolling Stone called this man the undisputed heavyweight of rage-fueled humor. And frankly, I think that title's right on the money. Bill's comedy is top-notch, and that's why he's one of my top 10 favorite comedians of all time. But I think what made him the massive success that he is today is his passion. From the early days of O&A, Bill has had his sights set on something way off in the distance. It wasn't for money, it wasn't for fame, it was for him to have the resources to pursue his interests and passions. And I think everybody wishes they had that drive. And I think it's why everyone gravitated towards him through his comedy and his podcast. If there's something Bill wants to try, he's gonna try it. And nobody's going to stand in his way. In Stephen Pressfield's book, The War of Art, he talks about this force, the force of resistance. Resistance exists in our minds in many ways, and ultimately leads to procrastination out of fear. Fear of success, fear of failure. Resistance holds all creative people back by manipulating their emotions and convincing them to fail. It's very evident that Bill Burr has found a way to manage this force. And it's because of this mentality that Bill is able to speak so truthfully and unfiltered towards anyone he comes across. He knows they will not prevent him from moving forward. He's truly undeniable.
Can women be funny?
Yeah, of course.
So there are a lot of angry young men on the internet that are like, women can't be funny.
Will you guys just grow up? You guys got to start your own shit. You got brains in there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So write your own shit. Quit waiting around for other people to do shit for you. That's the problem. It makes no difference whether you got a dick or a twat. When was the last time you went on stage and you killed so hard the person after you bombed? If you're doing that on a regular basis, people are gonna notice regardless of what you have between your legs. Become undeniable.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And consider subscribing. It only takes a single click of your mouse, and I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Bill Burr moment is. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.
All right, thank you, and God bless the United States of Canada.
Who voices Vic Reynolds, a cokehead dick.
So then I got upset. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, you're telling me like I can't even play with my dog? He's like, no, you can play with it, but you got to bring that energy back down. Problem is you keep amping this thing up, getting that Mike Singletary look on his face. And then by the time you walk out, doesn't matter if you're relaxed. Mentally, the dog is like walking through the tunnel at the Rose Bowl, like, this is what we play for! Somebody hit somebody!